Hey everybody, Shane here, daily-astrocat.com, and got the astrology here for you for Monday, the 6th of April. So let's go. The moon is going to be in Sagittarius all day long. This is going to be important. Now, normally you think, oh, Sagittarius moon, oh, we're just going to have a happy-go-lucky day. No, we're going to have to really focus today because now we can turn our attention to some creative projects. And creativity exists even in your day job. So the moon in Sagittarius adds a little elasticity to our day, okay? Because it's a mutable sign, right? It has that elasticity to it that allows us to push and pull and give and take, right? Setbacks are not really going to feel that way because of how resilient we are and how creatively we can turn these situations around. Now, NASA has a lunar mission that's ongoing. Think about this. There are people on social media saying this whole expedition is fake. Okay, this is where we're at. This is where we are. Okay, this is the world we're now living in. This is a mirror of some of the kind of criticism that we may need to deflect, right? Whether we're, on social media or whether we're actually just doing our jobs, that criticism, right? That stuff, right? People saying contrary things and incorrect stuff, just looking for attention, okay? They're looking for attention. They're looking for likes. They're looking for follows. The ethereal fabric that surrounds us is sensitive and is susceptible to these suggestions that can form deep in our subconscious. So we have to be able to guard ourselves against these. Today's keyword is active. Now, the color is a computer icon blue. Now, it's a proven fact that blue color is trustworthy. It's a Jupiter color, right? And it's the color of a lot of logos. Think about the logos that are out there that you know, and that they want you to trust them, right? Twitter, Facebook, all use a blue color, right? Blue sky, right in the name. Microsoft Outlook, the mail, right? The mail icon, that's blue. It's blue for a reason. It's to get you to trust it. It's to give you that Jupiterian, that Jovian feeling like everything's under control. Look, there are a few forces at work today that are beginning to clearly come into focus. Okay, despite what I said in the beginning, there's some more important things that are under the surface, and that's where we're really going to go. This is a really important episode, and I really need you to pay attention at this point right now because we had a hint of it last week with some of the changes that some of us may have experienced, and there really wasn't much time to process that because we've got Easter, we've got Good Friday. It was kind of like not down, but it was just a day where a couple of days where it's not really going full bore, and because of those 2 days, Mars is going to be sextile Uranus on Tuesday. Now, this indicates a recklessness that really we should try to avoid, okay? That's just me talking. Look, aggression and negativity in the stock markets, that could possibly mean that, right? What it also means, though, is that both Uranus and Mars are in the anaretic degrees of their particular signs. That would be Mars in Pisces, and that would be Uranus in Taurus, right? Uranus in Taurus could get a little bit lazy, could get a little bit gluttonous, right? Could be just wanting too much of something, right? Yes, Mars in Pisces, that's delusion. That's illusion. That's just going off the end and just getting lost in substances, perhaps, and not really being able to focus on what the task is at hand. And the focus is going to be really, really important. We're in an active phase right now, and we're getting ready to take off. And it's going to take off in ways that we're not really going to be sure of, right? The Aries season is really, really beginning to heat up. You got to begin taking actions, and you got to limit your risk if you're in that stock market game, because that aggression, that Uranus and Mars, it's actually a sextile that they're going to be in, right? So it could be useful. It could help you actually find a bargain there, or it could go the opposite way as well. So we just have to watch out for volatility there, only because it's in that anaretic degree. I'm a firm believer in that that the sextiles are helpful. So if we use our intuition correctly and we act in accordance with it, we should be able to turn something good into whatever it is that we're working on. But now that brings us to our moon in Sagittarius. Because look, with that Aries season heating up, you're going to have to hit the ground running. The moon in Sagittarius is in a great place for us to determine what goals we'd like to shoot for. Think of the archer as the archetype, right? Firing over the horizon. You can't really see the target. Where's that target? Usually somewhere in Capricorn, right? If it's firing ahead, the next sign is Capricorn. So this analogy is very archer-like, right? We know what to shoot for. But it encompasses more than just material or business goals. We get to take stock of our knowledge and apply it. If we can focus on the task at hand long enough to do so. Remember that fickle nature of some of those mutable signs? Yeah, that's where we're really getting, that's where we're getting into the weeds here. Look, there's something here. There's something more here. But we got to be able to focus on the task at hand long enough to do so. Try not to lose your active focus. There's that key word again, active. The key is to be active. Because if we're active and we're just moving forward, now we can utilize the Aries season and that energy that's in there as well to propel this forward and not get stuck in the feeling like, oh, we can do this later, or maybe something's better over here, maybe something. No, goals. Focus. You got to do it. Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to do this? It's more important this week than ever before. The weekend's over, and it's time to set your sights on your targets. Now, the moon in Sagittarius is in an important place tonight. It's in conjunct both Jupiter and Venus, which means that we can expect a yod point somewhere in this Sagittarius season, in the Sagittarius, right? What that means is it's a goal that we're going to be working towards that should be able to culminate during the Sagittarius season. This kind of astrology has been very, very accurate and important for the things that we're trying to do. We have Jupiter in Venus in Taurus. That's comfort, right? Jupiter in Cancer. More comfort. Jupiter exalted, right? Jupiter at home, safe, secure, emotionally just very, very well defended and a well-considered plan, right? And expansive, right? Expanding our home. How do we expand our home? Well, we can do that by actually tapping into abundance, by making more money. So I think that was something that's really worthwhile to do. Now, think about this. If we take what we're doing right now and we go big with our numbers that we're projecting, that we're aiming for, as we pull that bow back, and we project out until that Sagittarius season, we're in for a rollicking good time if we stay active, keyword again, and focused on the goals we set for ourselves today. So, very long-term, very strategic, and it doesn't really feel like that because it's a moon thing, right? But that in conjunct between Jupiter and Venus at that point being out in Sagittarius, this tells us something is waiting for us. Something very good is waiting for us. November, December of this year. That's what it's telling us. That's what the astrology is showing us. You can go back and listen to the previous ones where I was talking about this last year about things happening in Virgo and in Scorpio, and they did. So this is where we're going, right? Very important astrology, and it's very important for your forecasting and being able to plan for your own abundance. So in 1906, the world's first animated cartoon is released. It was called Humorous Faces of Funny Faces, and it was by J. Stuart Blackton. And that was the first animated film. And our birth is one of the Ninja Turtles? No, it's the Renaissance painter that the Ninja Turtle was named after, Raphael. He's born in 1483 and he died in 1520. Not a very long life. And what do we got? Well, he's an Italian painter and master builder. He did the Sistine Madonna and he did the School of Athens. Very much a painter back in the day. The high Renaissance, the classical, I believe the school is called Mannerism. And as modern painting, after Michelangelo was a little bit more important to his contemporaries, but they tended to get away from that. But still a very important artist in the whole scheme of things. And that is all I have for you. So today, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I love doing these kind of episodes because wait till you see how it turns out. Because these things here, when it finally comes through and it's finally shown to be what it is and where we're heading and what we can start doing, this is go time. This is the time where the Aries season is really going to pick up, and we should not let up. Just don't let up, okay? Try to give yourself breaks and stuff like that, but when you are working, you work. And that is all I have for you. That's the best advice I can give to you. So, let's recap, shall we? Today's keyword is active, and the color is a computer icon blue. Yep, that's a color. And thank you so much for joining me. Today's an 8. Happy astrocatting.